To help us break down the president's speech is Nick Reaves, an attorney with the Becket Fund for Religious Liberty. Nick, thanks for being with us here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, Nick, great to see you. The president, he was really unafraid to speak about his pro-life, anti-abortion views today, even quoting scripture. I believe we have a soundbite. Let's go ahead and roll that, and then we'll get your reaction.
We must build a culture that cherishes the dignity and sanctity of innocent human life. All children, born and unborn, are made in the holy image of God. Every life is sacred, and every soul is a precious gift from heaven. Before you were born, I set you apart.
Now, Nick, this is on the heels of the president's State of the Union address where he spoke graphically about late-term abortions. This is pretty unprecedented and really shows that it's become an issue that he's quite passionate about.
Yes, it is. I think the most important thing that we took away from this was his support for faith-based adoption agencies as the alternative. He really spoke about the important work they do, and he specifically referenced some of our clients who were there with him as guests of the president, the Buck family, who have adopted 5 special needs children through St. Vincent. And I think he's really highlighting the important work that these agencies do.
Yeah, and some of these agencies, though, they are facing the real threat of shutdown. Is that right?
They are. So the ACLU filed a lawsuit last year trying to stop the state of Michigan from continuing to contract with a diverse array of foster and adoptive agencies, one of them being St. Vincent, our client.
Now, this might sound a little bit ridiculous, but given how polarized we are, how divided we are as a nation, how do we, on a subject like this, put kids first outside of the realm of politics?
I think that's exactly the right question. And I think the way to do it is to say, what we need is more foster agencies and more foster families, not fewer. There are 13,000 kids in Michigan today who could be placed in adoptive and loving homes. And the state of Michigan contracts with dozens of different agencies that have different specializations in order to find the most number of homes for these kids. But what the ACLU is trying to do is close down one of the most effective agencies. St. Vincent has found more adoptive and foster homes than 90% of the other agencies in their service region. So this case brought by the ACLU is not about helping kids. It's really about scoring political points.
Yeah, Nick, you know, in terms of other administrations compared to this one, how would you rate this administration? And also, what needs to happen next? If you could, you know, just encourage this administration to do something, what would it be?
I think we've seen promising signs. I think the way that the administration granted an exception for Miracle Hill was very promising. What they said was that this Religious Freedom Restoration Act requires them to permit these agencies to abide by their sincerely held religious beliefs. I think at this point it's too early to tell what other steps the administration might take, but we're very hopeful that they will act on what the president said today and protect this important ministry.
Well, Nick Reaves with the Becket, help me with this again.
Fund.
The Becket
Yes.
Fund. Thank you so very much for being with us today and sharing.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you both.